All right, everybody. Hello, hello. We're just double checking to make sure that we are on, and we are broadcasting live to you so you can hear us. Actually, I don't see the audio.
It looks like it's on, but it's on my face
All
for
right.
some reason.
No. We're good. We're live through, but for some reason they don't have the good microphone on.
Well, it's also on my face. Let me see if I can fix that.
Okay, got it. All right. So now I'm gonna talk.
Well, I'm only seeing the.
No, I'm listening to it right now, sweetie. Playing through.
Right, but it's on my face instead of yours.
Right. Just click my face on the control panel.
It just took you off. I should be. On the live feed, it's showing my face.
Right.
From our perspective, it's showing your
There.
face.
Now it should show my face. So we'll get a minute. And then that should do the trick. We'll see. There it is. All right, everybody. We are finally on, and we
that
are.
was weird.
Yeah, it's the funniness of the panel stuff. All right, guys. We're on. We're live. We are so happy to see you guys. It's been a while since we've been on camera. We had so much technical difficulties, but now I had to reset my whole computer. So all the old stuff I had to back up, all of it. I had to make sure that it was backed up enough for us to have, and we're here. So tonight we have Jeremy here with us. He's sleeping in his room. Yeah, well, Kalina's got a little camera monitor so she can check on him. But if for any reason he were to wake up or start getting fussy, we would have to pause momentarily, shut down camera stuff to take care of that, for Kalina to do that, and then we would come right back on. So if that happens, you'll know why ahead of time. Tonight is the poll. You guys voted, you guys chose, and tonight's subject is going to be sound and its connection in the universe. And that's what won. And that almost never made it to the vote poll. I didn't realize 2 of the suggestions didn't get put up. After I got a comment saying that was second or third time, I realized that the comments had collapsed and the first comments that were there disappeared. So we have that taken care of. We put it up, and that was one of the top voted for things. So I appreciate it, Brendan, for hanging in there with us to get that set up.
And not just sound, but music.
Sound, music, yes, absolutely. I didn't have it in front of my eyes, so I was ad-libbing. What else was I going to say about tomorrow? Because we have Jeremy, it's going to be between 9 and 10 p.m., more likely towards the 10 p.m., but because he has school the next morning, and that's Eastern time, U.S. time, because he has school the next morning, we have to wake up at 4, so we're going to try to get it closer to 9. The problem is that's around his bedtime. We have to make sure he's in bed and laying down and sleeping and not grumpy, frustrated. We had a heck of a time with him earlier today and yesterday. So you guys know with Jeremy comes the ups and downs, and we kind of have to do our work around that. And Kalina, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do this at all when Jeremy's here. So thank you, sweetie.
Aww.
I appreciate that. And thank you guys for being so patient. I love you too, baby. Thank you guys also for being so patient. The last few months we have really dragged right towards the end of the month, and we're trying to prevent that. We're hoping that August is the first month where we can start getting some videos out in mid-month and getting back to the other videos. The problem was we could have shot all the videos we wanted to in the last 2 months, not just for Patreon, but for YouTube, but we never could have edited it because my computer program was down and Kalina's was acting up as well. The Windows update really did us in. She fixed hers, but she doesn't have experience on the new program that we've got for editing. The old program stopped working when we started using 4K video.
I also have more luck than you do, it seems, with technology. Maybe they're like, ooh, don't mess with the Arcturian starseed or something.
No, me and technology, it's like we both bought a new computer. I bought mine around 2012. Kalina bought hers at 2013. Same exact computer.
No, these were from...
No, these towers, same
towers,
exact
okay.
computers. we both bought them from the same place. I built both of them from scrap little kits that you buy, and I built them both, and hers outlasted mine by 3 years. So every time we bought a laptop within months of each other, just a year and a half ago, these laptops we're on right now, what do you know? I've had to reset mine twice now, while she's never had to reset hers. Old laptops before that, same story. Phenomenal. how bad it doesn't cooperate with me as well as I wanted to. But we're here tonight, guys. We're going to get this channeling on the way very soon. Wanted to talk to you guys too. Next month, we're hoping to get some things shifted for the Patreon, but that also means that we are going to kind of restructure the levels, because we've noticed that the $22 and $11 have very similar things that you can have, and it's not fair for people who are spending the $22 to only have like one small difference in their package compared, because those are our biggest packages. Most people get the $11 or the $22 package. We've got a handful of 55ers and a couple above that, but we really want to make sure there's a distinguishing difference between those two. One of the ideas that we had was, when we do suggestions for the polls, that we let everyone in the $22 package and above do suggestions for what they want to vote on, and then everybody gets to vote, or doing something else that's different, maybe like extra discounts or something for the 22. But we really want to make sure that everybody in the $22 package is getting even. And we also are having some things that nobody uses. So we're going to kind of just clean those up so they're more readable, more easy. All of you guys who have been in here for a while, you guys are great. All of you, I thank you. Some person.
Nothing's going to get taken away, though.
Nothing will get taken away, right? Right. We want to keep everything that you guys have, but just give something extra to people on 22. One thing that's been an issue, some people have been having sign-in problems or issues. We want to let you guys know too, Patreon is a third party, which means we get to use their platform, but we have to pay them in order to use the platform. They take, I think, 6 or 7% of all the money that we make each month, and they take care of all the tech issues. So when you guys have a problem, like no signing in, no login, you have to go to a website to ask them what's going on. Some things we can fix, like we can look and see if your payments went through or something like that. But let's say your payment didn't go through, you couldn't manually pay us and then have us turn back on your account, because we don't have control to even turn on or off accounts. We can block people from using our Patreon, but we can't automatically or manually turn it on. It's a service that has to be paid through Patreon because it's their software, because it's their setup. And we do like Patreon, but we know it's been a little rough for some of you. So we're going to try to either figure out a way to do something like this without having to go through Patreon, or we're going to talk to Patreon and suggest yet again some new features, because some of you guys have been having problems. Other of you guys have been easygoing and smooth sailing. You know, some of you who are less technically inclined, it's going to be more difficult. Some of you who go into the energy with an email that had a mistake or something like that, sometimes it can just be as simple as misspelling the email when you sign up, all those things. But anyway, I digress. We're getting ready to do channeling, guys. You know how this works. I'm going to need 5 to 7 minutes to neutralize. We used to have the videos where we could pop up or music or a note saying, hey, we're neutralizing, but we don't have that. So Kalina's going to look out for the chat as best as she can. If any of you are on the YouTube chat, if you're watching it through YouTube instead of the embedded Patreon, you can let people know when they come in and don't see us on that we'll be back after neutralizing. And tomorrow we're going to be right back to live stream unless something happens with Jeremy, which, you know, usually at nighttime while he's sleeping, everything's smooth sailing, so it's good. But I don't see any issue with us doing the next one tomorrow. So we're going to see you guys all again tomorrow anyway. All right, guys, we're going to jump in depth, music, sound, and its connection to the universe at large. We love you guys so much, and this is a great, great topic, and we're thanking all of you guys. All the topics that you guys always do are great.
We love you guys, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back, guys. So, 5 to 7 minutes, and we'll jump in and rock and roll. Love you guys. Thanks again. All right, everybody, we're back on. I'm just going to wait for a minute, make sure it's piping through the live stream like it should, audio and video. There it is. All right. All right, I'm going to shut that down real quick. Right, everybody. So, going to rock and roll as I'm doing here. I also want to let all of you guys know, some of you who are using the benefits of this packages, like when you're getting percentages off of sessions or getting your free sessions through email, Kalina is now kind of taking over all that energy with email communications. I've been backed up. I've been doing kind of a lot of internalizing and kind of putting my energy with Jeremy, and Kalina's offered to take that load off of me in the meantime, which is so amazing, as all of you guys know she is. So if you guys need anything like that, please feel free to email Kalina. Sometimes when we get a little backed up when we're really busy with Jeremy, we have about a 48-hour response time, sometimes even a little longer than that when we're really backed up. But I'll have her put her name up in the chat a little bit later when she's got a moment, her email to you guys. But it's easy if you know mine. Mine's trebchanneling@gmail.com. Hers will be trebchanneling.kalina@gmail.com. And we're going to be changing email soon to the official ET Whisper, so it'll be rob@etwhisper.com and Kalina@etwhisper. We just haven't done that. We're going to be doing a lot of revamping stuff, but I just wanted to remind any of you because something like that came up in one of my messengers right as I was coming out of my neutralizing. I also wanted to remind you guys to enjoy yourselves tonight. That energy of enjoyment will let you receive that energy so much better. Just like with Aridif and my relaxation, it helps me get it out better. So I love you guys. I'm going to take one more drink, one more deep breath, and we're going to jump right in to music and its place. And I can't remember the proper wording to it, but something to that effect. Music and its place and energies and exchanges within the universe. You know, the what's, when's, how's, and why's. Love you guys.
Love you guys. And I just want to state, doesn't Rob look nice and regal in his Game of Thrones shirt?
And my full beard.
His full beard.
And my weight loss. I've lost, since the last time we had a camera, I've lost about 30 pounds. But from the last time I was on camera in my interview in Chicago with Brad, and when we had that whole thing in Chicago, I've probably lost about 45 pounds. So my energy that I've been holding for the worries and concerns of Jeremy, for some of the own things in my own self that I needed to get rid of, I've been working through that. That's why when you look on Facebook, you don't see any posts for the last few months except for the Patreon people, or maybe a comment here or there, because I've been going inward, and it's well needed, just like all of us need that time. It's been happening.
Welcome to my world. I do that all the time, you guys. There she is. No, now she's gone.
Kalina calls me the Facebook whore normally because I'm always on there.
I tease them.
I'm on Facebook a lot, but for the last few months I've just kind of let that energy go, unless I needed to let you guys know what's going on Patreon.
He'll be back though, as will I.
I'm gradually coming back. I actually posted one non-Patreon thing, and it was the interview in Chicago, and that's why I posted the
Posted
remnants.
clips, Facebook.
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'm gonna take another drink of water, take a deep breath, and then we'll go ahead and jump in. I got a little away from my neutralizing, but not too
Sorry,
far.
that's my fault, guys.
No, it ain't.
I was just looking at how fine and kingly Rob looks, and I just thought I'd point it out.
Well, if the camera were on you, we could say the same thing. Not kingly, but...
What do you mean I plucked my chin today?
But royal and beautiful and
Thank
sunshiny, as always.
I'm in my jammies and a blanket, so.
That's how we roll.
I look like a couch superhero at the moment, but it's okay.
She does well protecting the house from all the evils
I
and their
do.
jammy jams.
All right, for reals, we're gonna start, guys.
All right, I'm gonna take 2-3 breaths and then I'll start.
Love you, baby.
I love you very much. Thank you, sweet.
I'll keep an eye
And
on
I love
you.
all of you guys too. Thanks for hanging out with us. And again, 30 minutes after we go on air, we finally start. We're bad at that.
Right.
That's why most people from now on, when we say 10, just show up at 10:30. We'll be there.
But then you miss all the goofiness.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, now we'll really go.
Sweet kitty. Is it? Careful, don't knock the engine out. Greetings to all, Aridif, that is ARIDIF, this is its spell. We understand that all of you have come to speak of the construct and concept of music and its place within the universal and co-created collective consciousness. But before diving in to this construct, there are 3 things in which we wish to express. The first, above and beyond all things, express within this evening to know, feel, and perceive that you are loved is of the utmost importance. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement to co-create with all of you. Thirdly, greetings also, Kalina.
Greetings, sweet Aridif.
Greetings. It is a great pleasure to co-create with you yet again. You are loved.
Always is with you too, Aridif. You are also very loved.
Yes, of course. And as you are all aware, we will dive into the construct of music and its place within the universal co-create and collective consciousness. First of all, what is music? Now, this idea holds a great vibrational frequency for many of you. For others, a low vibrational frequency. What is the definition of music? Well, for the Earth collective consciousness, it holds a specific vibrational frequency that most humans can agree upon the construct. It is sound vibration, utilization of either instruments being physical in the physical incarnation of a human being's vocal cords, or being an instrument that is man-made or made by those that are the human co-created collective consciousness. The utilization, combination, and construction of all of these things, one of these things, or the coalition of all of these energies being co-created, start that avenue of creation of music. Now, looking at the most ancient version of humans, songs, music, all of the vibrations included were very simple. For the majority, it were those that utilized their vocal cords. Even before the language barrier was breached, within the co-creation of human-to-human contact, there were sound vibrational quality, much as those that many of you perceive as animals. Now, most humans believe in their own mind that animals do not communicate, or if they do, it is very basic level. But the majority of you who are here in this moment understand the complexity of the sound vibration, body movement, and telepathic co-creation between these entities are much more than a simple complex of sound vibrations. It is a full form of communication, and humans, much as the entities that you now perceive as second density animals, are most definitely co-creating from that same variety. After completing the complexity of vocalization, after the first DNA manipulation, and after natural forms of evolution, multiple versions of sound vibration and verbal communication start. Through that verbal communication, there was also an increase of mind, meaning that the physical brain as an organ functioned in a much higher way. Also meaning, going from second to third density, the amount of consciousness embedded within each entity also grew. This allowed those newly human beings to start thinking in much more progressive ways, started to think in much more expanded versions of thought processes than ever before. This allowed entities to not only use their vocal cords or basic instruments of those that were around them to start creating music. Now, something did change within the Earth collective consciousness when it is perceived as music, after engaging most directly with those that were called Anunnaki, the first beings that ever came into the Earth collective to manipulate directly the human DNA, also had their own forms of music. These entities were utilizing what we would call the internal to external technological co-creation of music, meaning that, yes, they were utilizing their own vocal cords. Yes, they were also containing their own construct of consciousness and projecting it outward into technology that allowed the amplification and mastery control of those technological vibrations. And what now most humans call instruments or musical instruments were much more technologically advanced in their society. They would utilize those along with their vocal cords to create forms of music. After seeing these entities do this for several decades of your time, the entities that were the first version of humans started utilizing their own musical form. all of the co-creation of this comes from areas of your own psyche. Some of you work extensively in the creation of music between your second and third chakra, or utilizing the both of them simultaneously. But forms of human then were working from their first, second, third, and seventh chakras in order to induce that musical form. Now, all of you understand you can utilize any chakra during any creation that you desire if you are tapped in to that energy in the moment of channeling the energy of music. But most humans only utilize that second and third in this moment, meaning that those of you who start working on bringing in energy into your crown chakra, into your third eye, for those who are musicians and for those who do not perceive yourself as musicians, can utilize the energy when singing from your voice, when picking up an instrument, even if never before played, can bring forward the tones and vibration of sound. That is what music is. It is a co-creation of different harmonic frequencies that are playable, perceivable, and experientially received to the human construct and psyche. Now, different forms of music that you have in this common day is most definitely an evolution of consciousness and the construct of music itself. You have seen this even in your 200-year period. You have those that were the Beethoven and Bachs of the most classical forms of music that you are aware of, all the way into your recent music. And the genres are plentiful in this time. The entities that were utilizing classical forms of music were working with more pure vibrational frequencies than those before. And those that were in the most ancient of days, before the multiple manipulations occurred and only the first two manipulations of DNA occurred, were utilizing the pure forms of music, just as those that were predecessed in the Atlantean and Lemurian ages. In Lemurian and Atlantean frequencies, they would utilize what we would call the most pure form, or the pure key of sound vibration. When you tune your instruments, you are utilizing a certain frequency. So when you are playing an A key or a D key, those are not specific pure vibrational sounds. If you were to utilize them in multiple octaves above what you are able to hear, those would become highly distorted frequencies. But when utilizing a different form, a frequency that is closer to the 432 frequency, that would bring, no matter how high the frequencies, a much more pure waveform of that sound vibration. That is what we mean by pure notes. So the utilization of Beethoven and Bach were working with fairly clear vibrational sound, even though it was distorted above the human hearing frequency. Those who only tuned in with their ears and not their consciousness could absorb all of that pure, enriching vibrational sounds. Now, music has become much different. It has become digitalized, which in itself is not a distortion, but when mixed with different sound vibrations and utilizing the key that most of your instruments are tuned on in this time, a distortion does occur. Utilizing instruments that are being played out of alignment with those who are playing the instruments also brings frequencies that do become distorted, even within the ear sound or in the ear perception of those that are humans who listen. What we can suggest you, for those of you who wish to utilize your new music form into the most purest vibrational frequency available, and to utilize that for the growth of your soul, your mind, and your heart, what we suggest is working approximately within the 432 range of your own vibrational tuning. And when utilizing that chord, when utilizing that vibration, start off with the manual instruments, or utilize the the digital energy that can go into calibration to closer to the 432 vibrational frequency. By allowing those things to occur, and by opening up your chakras when engaging in either the digital or the analog forms of your instruments, this will bring a great vibration and opening in certain parts of your energy. Some of you are aware that sound vibration itself can heal. Music, which is multiple layers of sound vibration, can heal, but not always in the same physical levels. While one sound vibration played in its purest form may help destroy cancerous cells within the physical body, multiple instruments can instead go into your DNA and start activating the parts of your already able body to heal itself. So it is not a direct attack upon the cancerous cells. It is more so priming your physical body to engage with itself, to open up its own natural forms and mechanisms of defense. Most of you call this an immunity system or an immunity center within your physical body. But what we are saying, by activating those certain forms of your DNA through that pure sound music and sound vibrations mixing, it can open up a great deal of that dormant DNA within your energy. It can also activate your etheric cells within your DNA. As you are all aware, by going into full density, it raises your vibration exponentially. But many of you are starting to understand that your DNA energy also will start becoming activated. The strands of DNA increase, the energetic properties of your DNA become more present. Therefore, by diving into yourself on a biological level with your scientist and the machinery that is useful, this can be perceived by those of you who are starting to activate that energy more deeply. What we suggest also is by utilizing different forms of sound vibration. Many of you utilize ukuleles and guitars and pianos, etc. But what about those natural forms of vibrational frequencies that already occur? Many of you have wilderness in your area. You have water that is flowing in the ocean or a river or a lake, or rain that comes down, picking up those pure forms of vibration through the least disturbed form of, perhaps as you would say it, digital capture as possible, and replicating that sound as you are singing, as you are playing instruments that are made of crystalline substance or pure metal forms of instruments. This only does what? It increases that vibration. When you utilize crystals for your meditation, what does this do? It increases the vibration frequency. When you are using pure metals, it does not only conduct electricity, it also conducts, receives, and channels the electromagnotheric energy that is all around you, the ether, the fifth element of energy. Utilize your own homemade sound vibrational instruments. Create metal and crystal together. Play with your elemental sounds of wind, water, fire, and earth, along with channeling your ether by opening the chakra system. Systematically or intuitively feel what chakra is relating to the new sounds that you are creating. We understand there has been an entity who has created an instrument that has not been within your own vibration for long periods of time. Less than 200 years. It is a metallic object that appears as if it were a very different form of visual UFO. And when you play with your hands, it makes different sounds. This instrument carries natural high vibrations if it is created from proper and pure metals. Placing that within an area of water with crystals in and around your chakra points and around the place where music is playing, it also opens up that energy. Now we have talked of the physical nature of music, the etherical nature of music. but we also wish to express to you the energy of the Earth co-created version of music and what it means to your own systems. Some of you listen to genres of music that make you feel open and free. Others, music that gets your mind highly stimulated. Some of you, even music that gives you an aggressive feeling. All of these things can be utilized by yourself. All of them can be a form of openness. But when there's music that makes you feel as if you are becoming ill or making you feel as if you are becoming violent, this is enough warning for the majority of you. But there are some who enjoy that feeling because it is so far outside of your vibration. When you start utilizing that energy, what we suggest, if that's something that you enjoy, ground yourself deeply before doing so. Allow yourself to know that this is a temporary vibration. The more that you let it come into your system without your perspective of being grounded or without your understanding of it being a temporary, it can build that vibration in you naturally, meaning that you can become a more aggressive or more anxious person naturally by the continuation of that vibration flowing through. It is the same as most of you in your eating of foods. If you are to eat buckets of cheese and lard, what would occur? You would gain weight because you are putting high fat content within your physical body. But what when you drink water? You are clearing out your system. You are giving it something that is already pure to the vibration of itself. Placing the most pure forms of vibration is preferable. But if that is your true excitement, remind yourself that this energy is only for that co-creation and ground yourself accordingly. One moment and we will speak more deeply upon music elsewhere in the galactic collective consciousness. Now, many of you understand that sound vibration alone is one idea, but music as a created and built and co-created form is specifically understandable to humans. But music as a form is widespread and widespread throughout the entirety of the galactic collective consciousness. There are many races who utilize music as a sound, whether it is created within or created externally, or the combination of internal and external technology, utilize this for the forms of their own clearance, just as we have spoken of, utilizing the most pure forms to open up psychic energies, your consciousness, let it bring in more of the fractal consciousness from the higher self into the lower self. But also there are some races who utilize this to create the false sense of experience, just as we've expressed. But some of the energies that most humans have not perceived or thought about perceiving are much different. Let us go into our own race, for example. As a being that is ancient Pleaidian, music lives within our own DNA, just as it does yours. But being Denebian allowed us to co-create a different form of music. We do not utilize sound vibration from our own throat chakra, but we utilize the sound of nature. And due to the nature of our own fluidity and the nature of our instantaneous creatorship, this allows us to co-create with the elemental and second density energies that allow us to co-create music from nature itself. Instead of just listening to the wind, we can create and form our own consciousness to collaborate with wind and the tree areas or something that is very close to your trees, and let the wind blow through in certain ways to create certain forms. Instead of your own area where wind through a tree would appear something akin to this. We can create something much different. That form of our own fluidity, the form and allowance of the elementals to let us be a part of it, the allowance of the second dynasty beings to move as we desire them and as they desire, for us to allow them the co-creation. We form music with nature and the water dripping in, making sounds and splashing water. And we create even an etherical energy of electromagneticity from the metallic areas within our own planetary construct. All of that energy co-created together allows us to create music without ever picking up an instrument, without us ever speaking a word. That energy is our co-creation, and it is not for a desire of entertainment. It is not to open our energy more so. It is so that we understand the nature of our surroundings, so that we ourselves implement ourselves in the environment where we co-create, live, and are sustained, and vice versa, to allow those energies to fully implement themselves in our physical bodies. This co-creation puts us truly at one with the energy, so that creation brings a higher vibration throughout the entire collective. There are other energies that are musical by nature, the energies that are co-created for manipulation of the physical area around where they are, a technology of forms that is secondary to the instrument or the instantaneous versions of those co-creations. For instance, those entities who play music from their external instruments can also utilize multiple sound vibrations at once to create what appears to your ear as music for pleasure. But truly what is occurring is they are creating all sound vibrations in one crescendo, in one area and in one mark, in order to create a gravitational field where they are able to move objects with. And you can do this upon your Earth Collective with a singular sound vibration or a spectrum that steps upwards or downwards. But to utilize an entire symphony to create this is much more elaborate than most humans can even picture within their own mind. To utilize a sound form that sounds specifically as if it were meant to be music and utilized for technological reasons is in and of itself one of the greatest co-creation feats within that entire race's technological field. There are other beings such as those that are known as certain forms of grey. Those beings utilize no musical form, but their environments sound, the background sound of their ship or craft that they are in. That is the music to their ears. That is the music to their heart. That is what they enjoy to listen. It is not truly music, but to them, it is the most beautiful sound vibration and co-creation and symphony of the heart. There are many draconian beings that are hybridized versions of draconians who utilize forms of self-induced music forms, meaning that they are utilizing only their throat chakra, but are able to play 15 to 20 different versions of sounds all at once in different forms, just as your music. You have 15 to 20 instruments, each of them playing different notes, intervals, stretches, and all of those together are one form of music. But these entities are able to do all of that internally with their own sound vibration in throat chakra and create an entire sound. Most of these vibrations are something that most of you would consider heavier versions of music, which are very loud and bass-oriented and very deeply ingrained within the physical body of the first and second chakra. As you are aware, Many different forms of music affect different chakras. Etherical music stimulates your higher chakras. More grounded music, such as your indigenous music, works within your first, second, and third. These entities work within that lower chakra form with their own sound, but when they utilize technology to enhance what is already a beautiful sound, they then increase into their own higher chakras and lower chakras and open for forms of sexuality. It is a wide gamut of vibration that is music and that is sound within the galactic collective consciousness. In the place that it has is different for each race and each individual, but the common thread through all of the individual and collective versions, first sound vibration, then music as a whole, is to connect yourself to the harmonic universe around you, being within this universal construct, being within planets that have atmospheres or false atmospheres within crafts or ships. All of that energy allows us to feel the vibration that is the physical universe around us. For this we are grateful. We will take your queries at your leisure. Kalina.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Of course.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
All right, I'm trying to find my notes where I put them because I started writing. Okay, you actually answered one of them already because I've always been fascinated about how you all work with sound and music vibrations. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, of course.
I wanted to know, I recently had a session with Archangel Uriel through Rob, and Uriel said something interesting about how they use sound vibrations to lend energies of support. There's a whole lot more to it. I don't know if you or if you wanted to bring Uriel through to talk more about how the archangels work with music sound and in particular vibrations.
Yes, for the benefit of this purpose, we will bring forward our own information about the construct, but we are assured that we are connected to that Uriel energy as we express this. Vibration itself is a co-created mechanism. Physically, when you look at what contains your physical properties within you and about you, all of the most small parts of the atomic structures are vibrating. Pardon us. And all of those vibrations are upon different intervals. The different vibrations are what creates the different forms of the subatomic particles, which then create different forms of the atom itself. Atoms combined create molecules, etc. But the very basis of your and our physical reality is sound vibration. The archangel construct, which in our own perspective we would call the 12th matrix, that is closest to the form of source energy, are utilizing their own forms of sound to create with the planet in which they inhabit as an archangel. For instance, Uriel is one being who is an archangel for earth consciousness. That means this entity only works with Earth directly, but other planets perhaps indirectly. When co-creating with the Earth, when the wind is blowing within all of the matrices within the Earth collective, sound vibration is creating the movement of the wind. It creates the difference in the temperatures within the water. Now, all of these are self-contained energies. All of them are also a co-created part of the Earth itself as a seventh density being. The entirety of the Earth collective as one unit co-creates all of those things by its own means from co-creating with all of the beings that live upon it. But the archangel beings are using their own vibration of sound to help create the physical makeup of the energies that are in the lower and higher matrices. They are in one form or another direct creators of the experiences of all matrices below them. even though they are not dictating what occurs within them, they are giving of themselves to allow the physical construction so that all who are co-creating can experience and create themselves the energies below. Now, we understand this is a complex construct, and it is much more complex than what we are allowing ourselves to dive into in this moment. But in the most simple forms, that energy that we've expressed should do until you are able to talk to Uriel, Metatron, Raphael, and all of the other beings who co-create from the archangel realms themselves. We could tell you deeply for multiple hours the complex nature of the co-creation, but it still will not do justice to the energy unless you understand first that these beings create from themselves to allow the co-creation of all others.
It is, and I definitely plan on diving in more to that and sharing that information that I ask with the various archangels. So
Yes, of course.
Oh, it's really amazing. So for we know that as technology increases, we're able to use both sound and light therapy to heal. And I also know that a lot of people, as I'm trying not to hesitate as I say this, but I'll just go ahead and say it, because I don't know how much validity we want to give into because what I call fear porn. But there's been a lot of people who've been afraid of getting attacked by negative vibrations using sound and light technologies. And as I was talking to Uriel, I was thinking, I wonder if, when you have certain technologies that may be possibly attacking a being, whether it's just, fields that are coming in from a cell phone, or if you're actually getting, to be a targeted individual, so to speak, could a person call upon archangels to help them? I don't know if that's appropriate, to assist them with that, because if they have these powerful sound energies, for lack of better words, that they work with, wouldn't that be able to help kind of bounce that off and bring in healing energies? I'm just curious what your thoughts are about that, Art, and also for healing as well.
Yes, we understand. First of all, when you are co-creating with other beings, such as those that would desire to attack you with sound and light, they have a free will as well. So when they are attacking you, just as you are protecting yourself, both of you have equal forms of free will. And even though most humans do not wish to perceive this in the moment that they are being attacked, they are also part of the co-creation of that attack itself. The archangels are called upon by humans often to help protect them, to help create better things for them. And just as those that you would call Judeo-Christians praying to their God, it has less to do with the form of those entities protecting you than it does you yourself using the energy that they are already giving you and utilizing it for the form of your own manifestation or protection. The entities that are archangels love both you and the attacker equally. They would not intervene on one side or the other in the most direct fashion. But if you utilize the form of love that is given and use it for your own protection, this could increase your ability to protect yourself with it. Your belief already states, if you are calling upon them to protect you, that they are able to protect you. Therefore, your creatorship with their energy is much stronger. Utilizing it as a form, or perhaps as you would say, a tool of your own creatorship is more than acceptable. But believing that they are doing it for you and that you need not have the work done within yourself can be a dangerous precedent to start rolling down the hill for those who start asking those archangels each time they are walking down the street to do this or to do that for them. The creatorship of yourself with those entities is already a greatly high intimate relationship. So bringing the love and utilizing it for the form of your own protection is the most powerful method. Now understand, Treb Bor Yit NE is also in the same alignment, although he has less energy to give you, much less than an archangel consciousness. He works in that same way. If you utilize the form of calling upon Treb Bor Yit NE and asking him to help heal you, he is not directly healing you. He is giving you his love. You are taking that love, bringing it into your field and increasing the form of self-healing that is already occurring.
I'm glad you brought that up, Aridif, because that was another hesitation that I had because I always whenever I feel a need for some healing, I've had issues with trying to open up and bring in the archangel energies, because it's even though they can't be bothered from what I understand, I always worry about bothering them, even though it's not really a bother to them. But one of the things that Uriel told me is that they lend their energy, they lend their love, they lend their support. So basically it just kind of gives you that extra boost. And probably not the greatest example would be if you're tired and you need coffee, you're still doing the work, but the coffee is going to keep you awake enough to do it. And again, I know that's not kind of a weak analogy, but that's one way of kind of looking at it. They give that support, and I've really felt that working with the archangel energy. In fact, you will work more and harder when you open up to those energies, and because there's such a growth in it. But I was just curious how that connected.
Yes, of course, and we also find the analogy not as weak as you believe. We find it very useful for those in human terms, describing something that is so far out of the average and normal human experience.
Yeah, I love it. I couldn't recommend them enough. Okay, so Susan has a question. We don't normally take questions for this format, but I'll go ahead and ask it anyway. She wants to know what's the best way to use tuning forks for healing, because she recently purchased an Om tuning fork.
Yes, of course. If that tuning fork is utilized out of the more pure forms of metal, then you are able to utilize those in several forms. First, bringing forward the vibration to place the hitting of the tuning fork against something that is of equal vibration frequency, such as another pure metal, or against your own physical body. To start the vibration will be the greatest way to start. After that vibration is taken, what we suggest in the very most common form is bringing it into the field of your chakras that you desire to work with most. When you are having perhaps resistances, or as most humans perceive, blockages within certain chakras, to place that in the field of the chakra while vibrating and focus your energy to draw in the vibration directly as a vortex in the center of that chakra. This will help open up the chakra energy. Secondly, most humans utilize the vibration frequency of that in order to tune an instrument. So utilizing your own internal vocal instrument also can be of great use by going through different sound vibrations and matching the pitch of your own vocal cord with it. This will also be of great use to teach yourself the exact tone and tune of a certain vibration frequency that intuitively you have felt positive interactions with in your chakra systems. Thirdly, utilizing two or more together at the same time, utilizing those energies and placing them in and around your throat area and your third eye area will also allow you to start sinking in more deeply your third eye to your throat chakra. Many humans who desire to bring forward sound vibration, as we've expressed previously, only work within either the second and third or one or the other when singing or producing or creating forms of music. But if you are able to work with connecting your third eye to your vocal cords especially for those who create music with their own voice. This will bring another level of creativeship and of co-creativeship with your etheric energies. Utilizing it in the same format with your crown chakra and third eye will also allow you to bring more of your higher self inward when creating forms of music. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I've got more questions coming in. We don't usually do questions in this format, guys. Usually I kind of follow up with interview questions. I guess I'll take a couple, but otherwise they'll get to be like 60 questions. Let me see. I'm trying to decipher. I'll just read it out to you as Casey read it. She says, can Aridif say more about technology is needed to bring indigenous instrument sounds into higher energy centers, etc.?
Yes, first of all, when we express this construct, what we are meaning is that in the most natural form, the indigenous versions of music utilize, for the most part, the second and third or first and second chakras, especially in those that were of early forms of human. When utilizing the etheric forms, vibration, in the Anunnaki energies, they were able to co-create and work with that form of music. So working from the more centered version of music now, the indigenous version is much more clear and clean than the average version of what we would perceive as unnatural forms of music. So utilizing those indigenous forms of music and utilizing your own forms of singing in the vibrational frequency of your throat chakra, you are bringing both energies into, and utilizing some of the examples that we have given in how to bring music into your chakra centers, or sound vibration, or work with tuning forks, or work with instruments that are metallic and crystalline nature. All of these things collectively help bring energy of sound, vibration, and music into the chakra system. So utilizing the forms of indigenous music while working with the energies of tuning forks or metallic, perhaps as you would see it, instruments of an external nature, utilizing all of those things together will help bring that music up into your higher chakras. Now, these are for the average forms of humans, but for the most of you who understand their own chakra system, who understand the nature of their own consciousness, are able to already bring any form of music that you desire into your chakra systems by utilizing a direct influence of your own intuition and by stating clearly through intent to bring that specific form of music into a certain chakra. It is more easily able to be met. Therefore, those that naturally go into your first and second, if you meditate, open up your chakras, relax, ground yourself, and say to yourself, that energy and sound should be displaced and moved through the entire chakra system. It will allow more of that to occur. We also wish to express we have time approximately for a few remaining queries.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions coming at me.
Yes, we understand.
Don't do it in this format, guys. It's kind of like an interview opportunity. Yeah, no, the questions are for tomorrow. We're not combining the two, and maybe that's where it got confused, and that's why I tried to say with Susan's question, I'll just go ahead and ask this one rather than the ones I had, because normally it's like an interview kind of thing, and if we had too many people interview, and we try to stay on topic with the format. So yeah, the questions are tomorrow, and I'm sorry if that confused you guys. I guess I just wasn't being clear enough with that. So I'll just ask one more from you guys, and then I gotta close it because I'm starting to get some unrelated stuff, and So Chirag says, sometimes I get incredible, lovely feelings coming in waves when dancing or listening to music. What is happening more specifically?
Yes, and your specific incident, while you are dancing, you have opened up your second chakra greatly. You are also tapping in to the flow of energy from your third chakra into the second chakra, which boost open that chakra system from its average form of intake. But as you are going through, the entire chakra system is flowing much more deeply. That wave of energy is opening also from the first chakra and bringing Mother Earth energy more directly into those already larger opening second, third chakra energies. That energy of dancing always takes place in the heart and within the body. So by allowing music into your heart chakra, it will increase the waveforms and forms of physical energy even more so. If you allow too great an energy to be released from your crown chakra, as you are motivating your physical body to move and you are bringing in the other energies from your root chakra, second and third, it can create a feeling of lethargy or can tire you out more easily. So in that energy, the continuation of your movement and utilization of the newfound Mother Earth energy, you can rebalance the entire tired or negative feelings when you bring more energy upward from Mother Earth itself and bring forward the energy of your own excitement from the heart. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes.
And I think that's about, I guess I should check in with Rob's body. That's about all the time
Yes, of course.
he had allotted.
Before disconnecting, we wish to express to all of you, it is a great pleasure to have co-created with all of you. As you are co-creating with your energy, as you are asking yourself and asking the universe different parts of what we've experienced today as a co-creation, we are also able to examine those parts in ourselves. Therefore, as you grow, we grow. We are not only grateful for this, we do not only thank you for this, but we congratulate you as well. Kalina, as always, it is a great pleasure to have co-created with you in this day.
Oh, it's always wonderful to co-create with you. And I also wanted to say, not only do I love you, but Savita also told me, not just hello to you, but she also wanted to say hi to Treb and send Treb her love as well.
Yes, of course, and we feel that love from all of the entities who are co-creating with us in this day. Treb Bor Yit NE also sending his regards and expressing to all of you that he will be able to connect with all of you very soon. We wish to express that as this great pleasure comes to an end, it continues forward with our love connecting to all of you. We are grateful yet again, Kalina, and we bid you adieu for this evening.
I'm grateful for you too, Aridif. I love you, you are loved, and adieu.
You are loved as well as we love you. Adieu.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, baby.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
How'd it go?
It went well.
Well,
Sorry,
I'm
I was
glad to
taking
hear
a
that.
sip of tea.
No, I hear you. Gotta drink water.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, as you guys know, we gotta get up early tomorrow with Jeremy, so we're gonna jump right off. But I love you guys so much, and we're gonna see you tomorrow night. We'll announce the link for tomorrow's on Patreon
Yes.
sometime between noon and 3 tomorrow Eastern time.
And I'm sorry if I had taken a question from Susan, I'm sorry if that threw you guys off. Normally what we do is I do an interview format, and then after Susan asked a question, there were just lots of questions rolling in. I was even getting emails from, I don't know how, there were like 7 people watching. I'm like, oh, I'm being all over the place. So sorry if I sounded a little frustrated. It was just like, I guess maybe I confused everybody or something with asking a question. But yeah, generally I do the interviews and then we have the questions.
And that reminds me too, if any of you guys haven't got your question in, we're going to keep the forms open for tomorrow's question and answer. It's back in on the old link, but tomorrow we'll let you guys know what time we'll be there. It will for sure be between 9 and 10 tomorrow when we start. And then we'll get you a link too for tomorrow's live stream. We love you guys so, so much. We'll be back tomorrow in less than 24 hours. Thanks, baby, for everything.
Yes, and thank you guys also. We love you guys very much, and
We
we'll
do.
see you tomorrow.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.